Welcome to the Daily's Double Shot. I'm Megan Walker.
And I'm Chris Shreve. This week on the Double Shot, we'll take a look at an exotic car show hosted by the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity.
Arnold Chon checks out some UW stand-up comics at the Rat and the Raven Bar in Seattle.
Andrew Mitrak and Arnold Chon review the new superhero comedy Kickass in this week's Cinema Chat.
Kim Spaulding took it to campus to see what students are going to do for Earth Day.
While Lara O'Neill-Dunne discusses Earth Day and environmentalism in this week's The Good, the Bad, and the Rad.
And Gideon Mari checked out a Glee-inspired flash mob that surprised Seattle all over downtown on Saturday.
All coming up on the Double Shot.
Ooh, what is that? Chinese.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Okay.
To start, let's take a look at an exotic car show that took place last Sunday in Red Square.
Auto enthusiasts and onlookers alike gathered on Red Square for Sigma Phi Epsilon's third annual exotic car show.
This is the opening day for our philanthropy for Sigma Phi Epsilon. The whole week is titled Speak Hearts, and all the proceeds are donated to PAWS. It's the Progressive Animal Welfare Society. All the cars you see out here, all the drivers, they're all privately owned vehicles, and they all paid a $25 entrance fee, so that's all donated directly to PAWS.
A bunch of sorority girls have participated in this, and it's basically a competition, and they're trying to raise as much money. They're walking with little shoe boxes, collecting money.
When we were thinking of a philanthropy event to have, we were like, you know what? Why don't we do something our alumni were doing and do Speak Hearts? So pretty much they just started off, and the philanthropy committee at the house started working towards developing ideas, and the car show came up.
We had a guy in our house who owns Cats Exotic. He was the son. His dad told some friends of his, they brought their cars. Next year their friends told some of their friends, and they brought their cars. Basically got into this big event.
This is the third year running. It seems like every year we hold this event, more cars come out, larger crowds come out, which all that means is like more money to go towards our charity. They come out here to have fun. They're like car buffs. They like showing off their cars. They like seeing other cars and just socializing with other car owners.
The exhibition also featured high-performance electric vehicles, including the Ariel Atom and the Tesla Roadster.
This is the 2008 model year Tesla Roadster. I've had it for about 13 months. It's a totally electric car. If you want to come around to the side, I can show you the connector. So this is the actual connector. Let me start by pulling this off. So at the end of the day, when I want to recharge, I start with this, and I'm just simply going to plug this thing in. It takes me about 2 hours. And the big reason why I was interested in electric vehicles is because I wanted to see us as a nation get away from oil. Perception of electric cars being slow and ugly and not very attractive. I mean, the styling of this car is obviously very attractive. The performance is, of a supercar type of performance. 0 to 60, acceleration in 4 seconds. Top speed is 125 miles an hour. It's got excellent performance from the standpoint of handling. This is a car that can go up against some of the best gas driven cars available on the market today. I wanted to show people that electric cars do exist, they are real, and there are people driving electric cars around every day. And this is a good example of one. It shows very nicely, and people are attracted to both the color and the styling. And it's just an example of many more electric vehicles to come, hopefully.
It's really great, I feel like, to give the campus a good perspective of what the Greek system is about. We do try and do stuff that's good for the community and raise money for charities. These guys are out here on their own time doing everything just to have a good time and raise some money for charity.
A few UW students took part in a stand-up comedy show last week. Arnold Chon has a story.
All right! This is going to be a lot of fun.
My name is Brett Hamill. I put this show together. It's a weekly show. However, once a month we have a young comic guest produce the show. Tonight is Barbara Holm, and she's put this show together for us. And the purpose is basically just to get some more exposure for some of the good young comics in Seattle.
Tonight is the first night of the Young Funny Comedian Showcase at the Rat and the Raven in the U District, and it's featuring a lot of UW students and recent UW graduates, and I'm one of the featured performers.
On St. Patrick's Day, this guy came up to me and he was like, "Kiss me, I'm Irish."
But when I went to Ireland, the Irishmen were like, me, you're American.
They say we teach this abstinence only, and we can't teach condoms, because condoms would encourage kids to have sex. It's like, really, I don't think condoms do much of the encouraging. I think Jell-O shots are more influential.
Time traveling, obesity, obese time traveling, and arguing. Yeah, should be good.
Yes, I work in a nursing home. Just kidding. I got kicked out for raping them. Gross. Wrong. Disgusting. Gross.
My name is Reed. I am a comedian, and I'm here because I was invited to do stand-up at the show.
Well, this motel said it's the Motel Georgian. We have HBO. We have air conditioning, and it just says sorry. And
I'm sick and tired of people talking trash about my generation, saying that we're lazy, spoiled, apathetic, uninvolved. I'm sick of it. And it's bullshit, okay? Because I'd like to see some of these past great generations perform under our circumstances. Like, I'd like to see the greatest generation win World War II if they had PlayStation 3.
I always liked making people laugh, and there was a point in high school where there was a talent show and I needed a way to get attention, so I just started doing stand-up comedy then.
If you're confident enough, every zoo is a petting zoo.
The older comics are jaded and bitter and angry people that have spent years on the road in crappy motels, playing at casinos for old women with, respirators, and so when you bring in the young comics, there's a lot more optimism. The world hasn't crushed their spirit yet. That's always fun. They have a lot of fun with it. They're more excitable. You don't have to pay them as much because they're young and inexperienced. So basically, I'm just trying to take advantage of their naivete.
They say we gotta stop kids from having sex because having sex in the teenage years has a heavy physical and emotional cost. It's like, really, I'll argue the opposite. Not having sex in the teenage years has a heavy physical and emotional cost. I speak from experience, I promise you.
Yeah, it's a good place to start because it's a pretty strong scene. It's growing. You have a lot of options. A lot of places will have open mics and stuff.
So it's a time of exploration for them and learning. So, and sometimes you'll be able to see someone who, 10 years from now, you can say, wow, I saw them back when they completely sucked, and now they're famous.
I hope everybody comes back to the Rat and the Raven every Wednesday, but also every month for the Young Comedians Showcase.
Now let's find out how Andrew Mitrak and Arnold Chon felt about Matthew Vaughn's new superhero comedy, Kickass.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Chat. I'm Andrew Mitrak.
And I'm Arnold Chon.
And tonight we're reviewing Kickass. Kickass stars Aaron Johnson as David. He's a typical high school comic book nerd, and he, like so many other people, are fascinated by superheroes. And he poses an interesting question, and that is why no one has ever, in real life, tried to put on a mask and cape and go out and fight crime. And he answers this question by putting on the costume himself, assuming the superhero identity of Kickass, only to get his ass kicked.
He should call himself Ass Kick instead.
Along the way, Kickass meets other masked vigilantes, like Hit Girl, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, and Big Daddy, played by Nicolas Cage. It starts off very comedic, but then it ends up being this really intense hero movie.
I mean, it almost stands alone as a brilliant comedy. Probably the funniest movie I've seen this year. But also it's just got these really well-directed action sequences. It's really violent, by the way, and that's where a lot of the comedy comes from.
This was one of the first movies I've seen where I just loved it from start to end.
And it's so creative with its gunshots and the knives that Hit Girl throws. And she's a particularly spectacular character, right?
Yeah, all of her scenes are very action-packed, crude, hilarious. She's just she takes a lot of the focus.
Chloe Moretz, she's a 12-year-old actress. Like, she really steals these scenes because she's actually so young, and it's so shocking to hear her say all these profanities.
It's just play up her age a lot in this.
And that's where the humor comes from. She's got this great dynamic with her father, Big Daddy, played by Nicolas Cage, that I haven't seen anything like that before.
Yeah, speaking of Nicolas Cage, I loved how he did this movie. He was kind of like this weird, awkward, but great dad. He was always there for her. Of course, he does, teach her to be a mass vigilante, killing, stabbing, mutilating people altogether, but...
Their father-daughter relationship is so funny because it's so morbid and they're doing these horrible action scenes. Like, we first see them and he's shooting a bullet into her chest.
Daddy, I'm scared.
Come on, Mindy, honey. Be a big girl now.
Is it gonna hurt bad?
Oh, child. Only for a second, sugar. You're gonna be fine, baby doll.
Kickass is over the top. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but that doesn't prevent you from really buying into this terrific hero story within it. I hope a lot of people go to see this movie. I'd be happy with seeing a Kickass 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
Because these characters are just so lovable. I'd like to see them again.
There's a lot of character development, so it definitely opens it up for a Kickass 2 sequel, prequel, whatever.
I hope so.
So I think that we can agree that Kickass did in fact...
I'm not gonna say Kickass. That's too obvious, Arnold.
It did though.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching Cinema Chat. I'm Andrew Mitrak.
And I'm Arnold Chon.
We'll see you next time.
Lauren LeMieux went to Wallingford last weekend to check out the Edible Book Festival. Here's the story.
This year, at the 5th annual Cook the Books, the Seattle Edible Book Festival, almost 150 delectable edible books were submitted into the competition.
This is an annual event called Cook the Books, the Seattle Edible Book Festival. This is the 5th one we've had, the 2nd one we've had here at the Good Shepherd Center. It's a way for people to celebrate books and food.
This is my first time here, so I'm just taking it all in, but from what I understand, it's kind of a combination of people who love books, love to read, and people who also love food and love to cook. And they've taken book titles and created food masterpieces out of their favorite title by making some sort of food pun on the book title.
Categories being judged range from most drop-dead gorgeous to most punderful. There certainly was no lacking of creativity at this event. Entries covered all genres of literature in every edible way imaginable.
Have to announce the most punderful, and the gold for that category, most punderful, goes to Audacity of Toast.
The event received a much larger turnout than previous years, and also added an additional category to the competition.
This year we introduced K through 12. So this year we introduced the Young Edible Artist category, which I thought was great.
The gold prize goes to Twilight, Welcome to Forks by Alejandra Martinez.
After much anticipation, the category of Best in Show, which was chosen by all who attended the competition, was finally presented.
The top dog, Origin of Reese's, Kath Corrine and Sears Wolf.
Well, we baked 2 cakes. We used bagels, red rope licorice and red vines licorice, black licorice, dots.
Dots, those little bumpy, multicolored things, and some orange sour things that are
gummy
round
rings
with holes in them.
Finally, after all the awards had been presented, everyone was able to sample the edible books, which left both food lovers and book lovers alike with a full and happy stomach.
Earth Day is coming up next week, and Kim Spaulding took to campus to ask students their thoughts.
The 40th anniversary of Earth Day is coming up this year on April 22nd. We're going to go around campus today and see what students feel about this environmental holiday. So, do you guys know when Earth Day is?
No.
No, I do not.
Nope. No.
420?
22nd. Do you know when Earth Day is?
No idea.
Do you know what Earth Day is about?
Nope. April, was it 22nd, I think?
April 22nd. I'm going to agree with Peter on this one.
Yeah, you guys are right. Good job, you guys. Can you guys tell me a little bit about Earth Day, or like what you guys know about the holiday?
Well, I'm just assuming that Earth Day is about protecting the environment.
Where we protect the Earth for one day out of the year.
There'd be a lot of green things around. People in Earth shirts, I guess. They'd probably be over there by the library.
Is doing things for environment, is that stuff that's important to you guys? Do you try and do that a lot in your daily life?
I like to recycle.
I'm kind of obsessive compulsive about my recycling.
Just normal stuff, recycling, turn off the lights when you're not using them.
easy stuff like that.
Is environment something that's important for you?
It depends.
What do you do in your daily life to be able to help the environment?
I use compostable drink cups because they're provided for us.
Cool. Do you do anything to help the environment?
I don't it up.
Let's say you had all the money and resources if necessary to be able to do something for the environment. What would you want to do?
I think
I would have people stop buying bottled water.
I would probably restructure the way that we look at transportation.
Maybe try to invest in research in solar energy.
I'd probably try to stop the whole clear cutting down in the Amazon or something, because that's kind of depressing.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm in a foundation called the Nisqually Land Trust Foundation, and we protect habitats from being bought by people who would build things on them. And then we restore them so that animals can live there. But I don't know when Earth Day is.
What would really help the environment is if a lot of people got together, not just one person.
Well, so it looks like some of us are ready for Earth Day and some of us are still learning some things. But that's okay. I know I'm excited for Earth Day. Reporting for the Daily's Double Shot, this is Kimberly Spaulding.
With more on Earth Day and environmentalism, let's check in with Lara O'Neill-Dunne in this week's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Rad.
Hello everyone and welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Rad. In honor of next week's holiday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day, we are going to be talking about the environment. And today I am joined by Katie Stoltz, a sophomore in political science and a part of the Campus Sustainability Fund Working Group. Michelle Harvey, a junior majoring in community environment and planning with an emphasis in urban food systems. And Amelia Patak, a senior in environmental politics and media coordinator for the Washington chapter of Show Me Democracy. Thanks so much everybody for coming on the show. All right, Earth Day is about to celebrate its 40th anniversary this year. Do you think that Earth Day represents and calls attention to the issues to which it should be calling attention? And do you think that the impact of Earth Day that you have seen in your lives has been good, bad, or rad?
I think it's been good. I think it has a lot of room to grow. I know growing up, Earth Day was very focused on recycling and planting trees, which are obviously good things. But I think we need to extend that now to social issues in order to make these problems relevant to a wider range of people, because obviously social issues are very closely related to environmental problems.
Awesome. Do you agree, Amelia?
I do. I think my experience has been good. Earth Day is my birthday as well. And I think what is so phenomenal is just recognizing how young Earth Day is itself, and to see how far it has come and how it is nationally recognized. It's really important because the Earth is our home, and I think it's that one time of the year where I feel like it's almost like spring cleaning and recognizing, okay guys, we got to clean up the house now.
Definitely.
And so
what do you think?
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that just it's kind of just the one day where we focus on the environment and the issues surrounding it, but we do have a lot to grow from there. I think that having it on just one day can kind of hide the actual issues underlying the environmental issues surrounding our world today.
Well, that was going to be my next question, actually, because some people feel that having an Earth Day is not enough and maybe would want to extend it to a week or a month. Do you guys think that's a good, bad, or rad idea?
I think it's a good and rad idea. Even though it is one day, it kind of hides the fact that I think a lot of people take it as just like a holiday, and so you can kind of lose the values and lose a lot of the issues underlying the actual day. And so I think that I don't see it necessarily making that big of a difference if it's a week. I mean, it'd be awesome. I would love to see a week of Earth, an Earth Week. But I think it's really more celebrating the new technologies and new ideas that have come from, in the environmental issue.
So you could do that every day, not just on Earth Day.
Exactly. I would like to see it being more of just every day's Earth Day.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's about inserting the values that we hold on Earth Days into our everyday thinking and making that a bigger part of our society, and then Earth Day or week or whatever it is would be just that, bringing that to light a little bit more.
Celebrating.
Some corporations want to kind of put environmentalism or Earth Day into our everyday thinking, and there's been some companies lately kind of rolling out in honor of Earth Day new packaging. I know Sun Chips has a new compostable bag. Do you think that a kind of a sudden corporation induced environmentalism, is that a good, bad, or rad concept?
I would say it's a bad idea, just because I feel that in the United States, we are such a consumer culture, and that itself is unsustainable. And so when they're marketing these products as being environmentally friendly, I feel like it's very misleading to the public, because we don't need to be drinking Coca-Cola. Like, we don't need that to survive. And when you just think about processing that and all the resources that are utilized to make that product and how it is a global product now, I just don't, it's not necessary. And I don't want to give them a bad rap, but I do appreciate that they are making an effort, but I just want to make sure that they're not misleading people on that.
I think it's good that it is reflecting the greater consumer tendency to want to buy more eco-friendly products, which is a good thing, but it's bad in the sense that it's promoting the idea that we can buy our way out of environmental problems. And maybe, the compostable bags of Sun Chips, maybe that is a great product, but Sun Chips falls under the larger PepsiCo conglomerate, and we know they have all sorts of products that are not necessarily eco-friendly, as well as social, like worker rights issues that they've been dealing with for a long time. And so just creating one product is a little bit of greenwashing and trying to promote this good image for your company that doesn't necessarily represent everything that you're doing.
I think this actually brings up a perfect example of last year, the Earth Day Fair. What happened was Coke actually was planning on doing an event for the day, and so they'd asked the group that was working at the UW Green Coalition that was working on it if they wanted to collaborate on something. And so, one of the ideals of the event was that it was going to be zero waste, and that it was going to be every booth that came had to just be showing, informational stuff and whatnot. And they came, and there was kind of a mix-up between the people running it, and they actually came with 5 sample booths instead of just the one. And so, but they had one table that was, I think they were giving away shirts, and they had like a sustainability information game that people could play. But then they were also handing out like 5 tenths of sample cups and disposable cups, and so it was kind of this.
So like handing out Coke?
I think it was NOS. I'm not sure if it was Coke. I think it was like Honest Tea and other things. But it was just that it was purely just totally against what we had said like from the very beginning, that we wanted to have a zero waste event. We wanted to show that other ways, and so it was awesome that they could be there to promote the new ideals, the new they're pushing the sustainability recycle movement. I know they had the shirts that said the recycle symbol with the Coke inside, which is cool. But then you also have this other side that it was completely diverting from the idea of the event.
When Earth Day was first conceptualized back in the 70s, the date of April 22nd was actually chosen with college students in mind. You guys probably already know this, but since for most students, it's not over spring break and it's not during finals, and it's so that college students who are the future leaders can take advantage of celebrating Earth Day. Do you think that UW students have taken advantage of this day in the past?
I only was here last year. That was my first April at the UW, and I didn't actually really remember what was happening on campus, so I'm sure more could be done. I know this year at the farm we're planning an event with the Hillel Student Association, and we're going to do a work day and maybe a potluck and just kind of come together and celebrate what we're doing, and so that's really exciting.
Yeah, I think that it has been good. I've been at the UW for a few years, and I feel that it's grown too just in those few years too, which is so nice to see. And basically like with the Green Festival last year, just seeing how many groups were out there, and like that's what I think is so exciting, is just to see the diversity of groups who are involved.
That's about all the time we have. Thanks so much to everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Good, the Bad, and the Rad.
Now here's Gideon Mari with coverage of last Saturday's Glee Flash Mob.
To celebrate the new season of Glee, a flash mob of over 1,000 dancers stormed the streets of Seattle on April 10th. The performance showcased a choreographed dance to the tunes of artists such as Journey, Kanye West, and Queen, surprising Seattleites.
Oh my god, it was awesome. Like, so not expecting it on a Saturday.
I mean, the dance was awesome, and I'm such a Gleek myself, so I had chills the entire time. It was amazing.
I thought it was great. I was just standing there. I saw everybody over there. I went over to see what it was, and it just started happening around me.
I spoke with choreographer Beth Nieberg about how this all got started.
It started with our producer, Egan Orion. He basically has the pulse on pop culture and what's going on in the world and what's happening and what's cool, and he was like, we need to do something with this. This is going to be big.
I spoke with Gideon Mari about the Flash Mob's origins.
Yeah, so I have an events company, and we produced one other Flash Mob. It was last summer. It was the Beat It Flash Mob on Michael Jackson's birthday. So we collected an initial team then, and then once January came, we were trying to come up with a new idea. And that's when the new season of Glee was announced for the spring return of it. We're like, perfect. I mean, our whole goal with these things is to put smiles on faces, you know, and not just for the participants or the people watching, but then to upload as a video later on.
Egan's been kind of a really big support behind everything. He funded all the permits and the rehearsal locations and like the PA and the speakers we have right now, so it's been great.
I think we have over 1,000 people is what we counted. So yeah, we had like 300 for our Beat It one, so 1,000 is fantastic.
Beth explained how the Flash Mob got over 1,000 participants.
Facebook is one of the best ways to network and get people in. And when it got to 800, I was like, Bobby, 800 people confirmed! Oh my God! I woke up this morning, there was almost 2,000 people confirmed. And I was just like, I can't fathom 2,000 people is bigger than my old high school. Like, that's huge.
The Flash Mob then moved on to Westlake Center, where they performed for an unsuspecting audience.
Excited because it's such a positive thing, and we're spreading so much positive, happy energy with this. Like, you can't help but smile and have a good time when you're out here. So.
Well, that's it for this week's episode.
We'll see you next week on Double Shot.